So let's just walk through the code. So the first two lines are pretty straightforward. And the first line we are just saying that I want to use the Kite Connect APIs. So I'm importing the library. And in the second line I'm importing time because somewhere in the code I'm using the sleep function wherein I'm waiting for few seconds before I can make the next call. So these two lines you have to just use it as it is. um, Enter the position values. These are the values which you actually have to input in the in your code. Everything else you need not touch actually, other than of course this API key. So in quantity, you just mention how many lots you want to do. um, S1 and S2 are basically symbol 1 and symbol 2, where you specify the the symbols for the strikes where you want to enter. So here I've mentioned that I want to do 15,850 call and put. You can get these symbols from Zerodha itself. It's pretty straightforward. If you uh, just go to these, let's say you have chosen these two as your strikes where you want to sell. You click on this chart and you will notice that it's come up here. So this is the one which you are using, and it will also show up in the URL. So this is what you are looking for. Okay, and so this is how you can get the symbols. Coming back to our course, so that I've used both the C and P symbols here. Entry price I've mentioned 190 rupees here. Again, if you go back to the the current value or the last traded price, if you add both of these up, 92.35 and 93, it comes to 185.35. So what I mentioned here is that um, enter execute, or execute this position or place the trades only when the price is above 190, not before that. Okay, so once it reaches 190 rupees, then and only then place my trades. Otherwise it will keep going back and looking at the total price. So if you want to enter the position right away, irrespective of what the price is, you can just place this value as a really low number, and in the code later on we'll see that how it will immediately get executed. Stop loss is a variable I have set wherein I am saying that if I am entering at 190 rupees, if the stop loss of combined these two strikes comes to 200 rupees, then just exit my position at whatever loss I am taking. And target price is that if I'm executing, if my entry price is 190 rupees, and if I'm receiving 20 rupees per lot, right? So the difference between 190 and 170, then also exit. So these are the two exit conditions I've mentioned. Either the stop loss gets hit, or the target price of 170 is achieved. In either of these conditions, the position will be closed. So initialize is nothing where you have to just specify your API keys and access token you have to generate. I'm assuming that you're familiar with this. Otherwise, there are many videos out there. Just look them up. Okay. This is a function where we are actually placing the orders. Okay, whether it is initiating a position or we are closing a position. We'll come back to these functions, but just remember for now that this is where we call the API to place the orders, and we'll go through each one of them. They are pretty straightforward. It won't be difficult. Okay, let's just go down and look at the main part of the code here. So I'll just scroll a little bit down, and this is the key code which we have to use. Once you understand this code, the rest of the code is pretty straightforward. Okay. Um, so again, anything in Python that starts with hash is a comment, so that is ignored by the Python. So let's go through line by line. Here I'm saying while true. So true, because I've given true, that means that the condition will always be true. So I'm basically having an infinite loop, and only when I tell the program to exit the loop, it will exit. Otherwise it will keep checking whatever I want to check or keep doing whatever I'm telling them to do. Okay. Um, these three lines, okay? In Python, what try and except means is anything inside of try, we are saying that try this code. If there is any problem with this, say for example, I am calling this kite.ltp, and if for whatever reason kite is not able to provide you the necessary information, or if it fails for whatever reason, right? Then the try block will actually fail. So whenever a try block fails, it will come to this except part. So what I'm saying in except is continue. So anything inside the loop, when we say continue, it goes back to the beginning of the loop. Okay. So here what happens is it will try for this. If there is an error, it will come to this continue part and it will come back here and try this thing again. If this piece of line or code is successful, then it will come to the print part here. Okay. But before that, let's understand what is kite.ltp and what is it returning. So if you read the Kite API documentation, we have to provide the parameter as a symbol. Okay. So kite.ltp is a function where we are providing the symbol, and if you notice, S1 is nothing but the strike symbol which we have provided if you go back to the beginning of the program. Okay. And because this is an options, we have to just mention that NFO. Had it been any stock, you would have mentioned either NSC or BSC. So here what I'm saying is that NFO colon and the symbol. So I'm just concatenating the entire thing as NFO colon and the symbol name. Now kite will return a lot of other things along with the LTP. LTP is nothing but your last traded price. We are not interested in everything else. So what we are saying is leave everything aside, only give me the last price from the JSON object which is returned. I don't want anything else. I'm interested only in the last price for the symbol 1. Okay. So if you understand this, this is exactly same except that I am saying this is for symbol 2. And what I am doing is whatever last price are returned for this symbol 1 and symbol 2, I am just adding them and putting it in a variable called as combined premium. Okay. So just remember that the kite LTP returns you the last traded price which we are interested for both the symbol 1 and symbol 2, and I am adding both of them together. Okay. Once this piece of code is successful, it will come to the print statement. Again, this print statement you can ignore it later on if you don't want it. Just put a hash or delete it. This is just for our reference to say or to keep printing on the screen what is the combined total price of these two strikes. Okay. Now here what I'm checking is that if the combined premium, so let's assume if you run it right now, what will happen is it will actually return 92.35 plus 93, so it will return you 85.35. Now it will check whether 185.35 is it greater than my entry price. Now I've given the entry price as 190 rupees here, if you notice. Now since this is not greater than, because this condition is not true, it will not execute this piece of code. It will jump directly here. Here what I'm saying is just leave for 5 seconds and go again to the top of the loop. Again, this is, you can set it to whatever values you want. If you want to sleep for less number of seconds or if you want to sleep for more number of seconds, it basically does nothing for this period of time. Okay. Again, it will come to this part of the code and it will keep doing this until it reaches a condition where the combined premium, so let's assume that at some point the combined premium is 191 rupees. So because 191 now is greater than your entry price, it will call this place orders function, and I'm passing the argument sell. I'll explain you this later on when we actually go through the place orders function. Okay, right now just understand that I want to place the sell orders because I am doing a short whatever, right? Short straddle or strangle. It goes through this piece of code in your place orders function. If everything is successful, it will come here and I'm just using break. So what break will do is it will come out of this loop. Okay, and then it will execute the below line of code. Now let's go back now to our and place orders function and understand what it exactly does. Okay, so the first thing is we are calling this place orders function here, and we are passing sell because you want to sell. Again, this has to be exactly like this only. Okay, if you want to buy, we will write buy, which we will look later on, but right now I want to sell. So place order function gets called, and the word constant, or the word cell actually gets saved in this variable called as trans type. Okay, just remember now this trans type has the value cell. Let's look at this code, and the next is exactly same except the symbol changes. Here what I am doing is again try and except concept remains the same. Anything inside try will be tried by the Python. If it fails, then it comes back. It comes to the except. If it's successful, then it just moves on to the next line of code. So here in try, what I'm doing is I'm calling the place order function. This is again it's a kite API call which we are making. This is exactly as is. You have to write it exactly like this only. Okay, kite will be the object which we have used here actually. Okay, and these are the parameters which we have to pass. Now let's just look at them one by one. Our trading symbol is nothing but the symbol which we have defined up. We are mentioning it as S1. Variety is regular because we want to execute it during market hours. There are different values you can give if you want to do a bracket order, if you want to place after market order, so you can do an AMO. Because I'm just assuming here that I want to do it during the market hours, so that's why I mentioned regular here. Exchange again because this is a futures and options. You have to mention this as an NFO. Had it been any stock, right, a regular stock like an Infosys or something, you would have written NSE here. Okay. Transaction type, again I am taking this value whatever has been passed from the function. So because I want to sell them, this actually gets replaced with sell. Okay. Quantities, again it will take the quantity whatever we have mentioned upstairs. In our current scenario we have mentioned 75. Order type is market because as soon as it comes to this function I want to execute my order. And product is MIS. You can write it as normal also, NRML. Then it will be a normal order. I'm just making it as a day trade, so that's the reason I'm mentioning MIS. So simple. So this order gets executed for symbol 1. If everything goes fine, it will come to this block, and everything is same in this block except that S1 gets replaced with S2, nothing else. Okay. So now, if everything goes as planned, what should happen is, if you go back to your Zerodha account, there should be two orders which should get executed immediately for both of your strikes S1 and S2 at whatever market price that was available. So if in case you want to avoid some slippages, you can just mention your entry price a little bit higher so that whatever slippages are there, you won't have as many slippages because you have given the prices a little higher. Okay, so that's it. I mean, at this point your place order function gets called, and it comes back after the entire piece gets executed. It comes here and it makes a break, so it comes out of this while loop. So again, let me repeat. After this loop gets executed, you should be in a situation where you go to your Zerodha account and you should have both of these strikes being sold. Okay. Now let's go to the last part of the code, which is pretty much same except that the part of the if condition changes. So again, uh, this is exactly same as the previous part of the code where I am continuously fetching my last traded price and I am adding them up and putting them in the variable combined premium and printing them out just for our reference. Here is the logic for exiting. Okay, what I'm saying is that if combined premium is greater than my stop loss, say for example, my stop loss set was 200 rupees, right? And let's say the current price is at 190. So 190 is not greater than your stop loss. So this condition is not met. It will come to this condition and check. Here I am saying is our target price, again if you go back to the code, our target price set was 170 rupees. So here it will check whether 170 rupees is greater than my current market price, which is 185 rupees. Again, this condition is also not true. So it will come back, it won't enter this piece of code and it will directly come to the sleep function. 5 seconds, it will take a pause and again it will come back here and take the last traded price of both of these strikes, S1 and S2. Now let's assume first scenario where my stop loss is actually getting hit. So in that case, what should happen is the combined premium has to be 201 rupees or at least 200 rupees, right? So now what will happen is it will check for this condition whether 200 is greater than or equal to 200 and so sorry, let me make it simpler. Let's assume the combined premium is 201 rupees. So here what will happen is 201 is greater than 200 rupees. So the condition is true. Here what I'm saying is call the place order functions, but now do a buy because we want to, current position is sell. I want to close that position by doing a buy. Everything is same except that place orders will again be called with the with the buy value, and your trade ideally should get closed. And once it gets closed, it should break. So it should come out of this break. I mean, from this while loop, and the code there is nothing downstairs, so the program should just exit. This happens when your stop loss is hit. Now let's take another condition where your target price is met. So let's assume that you entered at 190 rupees and slowly and steadily market is going in your favor and your strike price combined premium now is 165 rupees. So what happens? 170 rupees target price is greater than 165 rupees or whatever, right? 170, 165, whatever it is. Once this condition is met, again it will call this function and it will break and the program gets stopped. At any point, if you don't want to set the target price, so say example, you want to just say that I will keep this position open till the end of the day. Whatever happens, I just want to keep it. There are two ways to do it. One is either you remove this code completely, right? In that case, this condition will never be met. Or there's a simpler way. You just go to the top of the program and where you have given the target price, just set this value as a really low number. Like just set this as 1 rupee. So what will happen is that whenever the combined premium is 1 rupee, then and only then it will exit. So that won't happen, right? So you can set this as a really low number if you don't want to use this target price functionality. And in case you have already entered the position, okay, directly from Zerodha, and you do not want, you just want to have a combined stop loss. In that case, just come back to the piece of code where we are actually entering this part of the code, you can either remove it completely or you can just comment it out, and then it won't check for this condition, and of course this will only be looking for your stop loss and or target orders if you have set. So that's it, guys. If you want to use this program, just set these variables as per your convenience and everything else remains the same. Try it out. If you have any questions, just post them in comments and I'll try my best to answer them. And if you have any other requirements other than this, I'll try my best to either give you the code here itself or I can create a new video for you guys. Thank you guys, and I hope you like this video.